Students, today we start with the second step of application interaction model, that is finding the actors. In the first step, we have found out the boundaries of the system, and within the boundary of the system, we have found out which functionalities that particular system executes and what all our functions are omitted from the system. Next is finding the actors, that is who all are directly using your or interacting the system. Actors includes not only human beings. The actors can be the humans, the external devices like printers, scanners, or any other softwares. For example, the ATM system software is interacting with the software that is working at the computers of the banking terminals and the central computers. So always remember, actor need not be the human beings. It includes the humans, external devices, and other softwares systems. Actors are not under the control of the application. Always the actors are the external entity who interact directly with the system. The directly meaning is, we have a banking application, and within the banking application you have different actors, like you have the managers of the company, you have the customers. But when the particular ATM system is considered, the ATM is directly used by the customers who want to withdraw the amount. It is directly used by the mechanical people who want to repair it, mechanical person who want to repair it, or the person like a cashier who loads the money, right? The manager is not directly in touch with the ATM. Even though he is a employee of the bank, but he is not directly using the ATM machine, so he need not be a actor. Always the actor directly interacts with the system. So these actors are not under the control of the application. So the customer is not under the control of the ATM machine. Even though there is a rule says you should insert the card in particular manner, insert the pin code in the correct proper manner. So even though these are the restrictions, but there are the chances that the customer may enter the wrong pin, or he may insert the card in the wrong direction, right? Similarly, when loading the machine also, the person can do the mistake. So always remember, the actors are not directly under the control of your application. The system should not crash even though when the actor does not act expected. So when the customer is accessing your ATM system, if he enters a wrong pin code, it does not stop working, right? So the system should be that much accurate and working properly and robust, so that the system should not crash even when the actor does not act as expected. As expected, we expect the actor customer to enter the pin code properly, but he may enter wrongly, right? So even though when he doesn't act expected, it should not crash. Next is, actors represent an ideal users that exercise some subset of system functions. Actors represent an ideal user. Actor is an ideal user who exercise some subset of the system functions. That is, all the users may not access all the functionalities that are present in the system. If we take the vending machine example, there are 4 functionalities. One is buying the beverages. Next is performing the scheduled maintenance, and whenever abruptly if the machine is not working, somebody will come and repair, and another person is loading the item whenever they are over. Now look here, all the customers are not accessing all the functionalities. Now the customer is accessing one functionality, which is buy the beverage. The second user repair technician is accessing the 2 functionalities, and the third actor, the clerk, is accessing the 4th. Means they all are accessing the subset. The set is what? It consists of 4 functionalities. First one is using 1 functionality, he is using 2 functionalities, and this person is using 3 functionalities. They are using the subset of the functionalities. So the actor is a coherent face present to a system, and the external object may have more than one actor. Now, actor means a single entity. A customer is a single entity. Printer is a single entity. It is a coherent face that is presented to the system, or for a different kind of external objects to play the part of the same actor. For example, a person who is accessing your ATM machine can be a bank teller, or he can be a customer also. Now, let us assume a ATM machine is there. Let us assume a ATM machine is there. Now, when a person want to load the money into the ATM machine, so he is a bank employee. He is a bank employee who is responsible for loading the cash into the ATM, right? But when this particular bank employee want to withdraw the amount, he becomes the customer also, right? So he is a bank employee, he is also a customer. Means the meaning is different kinds of external objects may play the part of the same actor, right? So example, a particular person may be both bank teller. Teller is a bank employee who directly interacts with the customer. Second, he can be a customer of the same bank. A person approaches the bank in one or another role at a time, right? So if he approaches the bank to withdraw the money, then he become the customer. If he want to serve the customers, he become the bank teller. So when we find out the actors, let us say few examples of the actors. Here the actors in the ATM machine are, he can be a customer, it can be a bank itself, or it can be a consortium. The next step is finding the use cases. That is, the use cases are the fundamental ways in which the user uses the system, right? So these are the ways how the system will be performing the functionalities. That is, look here, customer, how he interacts with the system? By buying the items that are present in the vending machine. Now, how the technical person will use the vending machine? Whenever the date of regular scheduled maintenance has come, that is every month last Friday, if he is coming for maintenance, then definitely he will come and do the maintenance. Otherwise, whenever it is under repair, he has to come and do his duty. So the use cases are the fundamental different ways in which the actors use the system. These are the ways in which the actors are using the system. One way is to buy the beverage, another way is to repair it, and the third way is to load the item into it. The use cases partitions the functionalities of a system into small number of discrete units. Now, the main intention of vending machine is what? The main intention of a vending machine is allowing a customer without the presence of a shopkeeper purchase the items, right? So this particular functionality has broken into small units, right? So it has broken into small units and they have become the use cases. Now we should handle the borderline cases very much carefully. That is, the borderline cases should be handled within the system very much carefully. The borderline cases with the ATM machine can be entering the PIN code, because it is at the border when the customer actually interacts with the ATM machine. Keep all the use cases at the same level of the details. The details about the use cases should be kept at the same level. Let us see one example about the ATM machine, in which I say one functionality is transaction, right? So I may write do the transaction. I say the customer can do the transaction, whereas another way, the functionality, this is the use case 1, and the use case 2 I will say do the regular maintenance, on third Wednesday of every month, right? So this is the first use case, and second use case is this one. Now look at the description here. The first use case has lesser details. What it is saying? It is just saying do the transaction. But here if you look at the use case 2, here too much detail is given. I have not just mentioned do the maintenance. I have mentioned do the regular maintenance on third Wednesday of every month. So here detail is more and here detail is less, right? So always when we are writing the use cases, they should be kept at the same level of the details. So let us take one more example. The use case 1 says apply for the loan, right? I'm just saying apply for the loan is the first use case. Second one says withdraw the cash from savings account using the ATM. Here I have just said apply for loan. The detail is less. Here I am giving more information, like I have not just said withdraw. I said from which account you are withdrawing, from where you are withdrawing. I am giving more details. So better to keep the use cases more precise than detailed. So better option for the use case 2 would be make withdrawal, right? Try not to give too much detail in the use case. So our focus should be on the main goal. What was our goal? Our goal was to just tell that you can apply for the loan. Here our goal was to tell you can just do the withdrawal. No need of giving the more explanation. The focus should be on the main goal of the use case and differ the implementation choices. This is the implementation choice. The choice is what? I can withdraw from the savings account or I can withdraw from the current account. These are the implementation choices. Here also I can withdraw by directly going to the bank or I can withdraw from the ATM machine, right? So here I am giving the implementation choices should not be included in the use cases. So main goal is withdrawal of the cash, whereas this was the implementation, that is from the savings bank account. Next is draw the preliminary use cases diagram, right? We should draw the use case diagram. So here we are drawing the use case diagram, right? So we should draw the use case diagram, show the and connect the use cases and the actors. So when we draw the use case diagram, it consists of the system boundary, name of the system, the different actors who are directly using your system, and what actually they do within the boundary of the system. So we are connecting the actors and the use cases here. Next is write 1 or 2 line summary for each use case. So when we write buy beverage, we should write 1 line explanation saying what do you mean by buy beverage? What do you mean by scheduled maintenance? Similarly, what is make repair? What is load item? So we should write 1 line summary, 1 to 2 line summary for each use case. Next is associate actor who is initiating a use case to it and other actors may involve it. So here if you take the example of this vending machine, who is initiating the action? The customer will initiate the action, right? So once he insert and selects the item, then only he start buying it. So you should explain who initiates the use case to it and which all other actors may be involved in it. So one more example can be within the ATM machine. If you take, who initiates? The customer initiates. Customer initiates by entering the card and the pin. So he is initiating the use case transaction, right? He is initiating the use case transaction. So I'll say this is the actor, right? And he is connected to this use case. When this use case is drawn, we have decided the boundary, right? So always the use cases will fall within the boundary of the systems. The actors are not the part of the system. That has to be remembered. Actors are not the part of the system. They are external to the system, directly using the functionality of a system.